Hello ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls. How are you doing on this fine Monday evening? Right, I want to make, first of all, a disclaimer, because obviously, as most of you know, I don't script things. I speak from my mind and my heart, and like any good writer or any good blogger, sometimes they don't put it in the most perfect of terms. I'm not trying to upset anybody of any race, colour or creed. As you will know, that is never my intention. But I wanted to have a few minutes, hopefully, I have 2 people viewing, so hopefully they'll comment and help me along with this. I want to say my piece on this so-called banning Donald Trump from coming to the UK. As you know, I signed and shared the petition, which I believe at last count, or the last time I was informed, was way over 1 million. I do have some faith, obviously, in signing petitions. Otherwise, I wouldn't, waste my time doing it. Do you know what I mean? I sign them and share them and send them out and hope that, what it says word for word is, agrees with you, resonates with you in some way. So you either sign it or just share it. Or, even better, because some people don't like to do this, some people do like to do it, not mention any names, put why you agree or don't disagree, or disagree with the petition. So Donald Trump wants to come to the UK. I would believe he would fly into somewhere like Heathrow or something, as that would be an international airport. I could be wrong. He could fly into, some secret fucking, runway somewhere. I don't know. But from experience, this is me talking about from what I have seen with my own eyes, not something that, I've so-called read off the TV or Facebook. There is a high population, or a higher population, I may say, of Muslim communities in London. My partner, anybody that knows me obviously off camera would know that my partner is actually from London. So that's how I actually saw the Muslim communities that I'm now talking about. He wants to ban Muslims from America. That's what the wording says. I know there's going to be a few of you now that are going to criticize me and say that it's vetting or it's this, that, or the other. But don't, many people read what it says and add their little words to it as they go along. Do you know what I mean? I'm reading it what it says word for word. It does not say vetting. If anybody would like to send me any post that actually says vetting and not ban, that would be very helpful. That's why I'm talking about ban. But he wants to ban Muslims from from America. Personally, I think that's going to cause more problems than anything else, but we'll get to that in a second. But he wants to come to a hired population of Muslims, in the country. We've already had these stories come out where there's apparently areas of London that are so, filled with Muslims. This is not my own words. There are no-go areas for British police in this country, and it just seems a little bit strange that he would want to come here. Yeah, fair enough. I know some people are going to say he's coming here for whatever special relationship he has with Theresa May. I don't know why I just did that then for Theresa May, but still. But I can understand why he would want to come here. He is the leader of the free world, therefore he needs to have ties with us, because we had ties with Barack Obama for David Cameron when he was here, and Theresa May, when she took over. Another thing, isn't the mayor of London Muslim? has anybody seen anything, any tweets, anything from him on his opinion? I know some people are going to say, well, who cares what his opinion is? But he's the mayor of London. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, Trump is coming to London, so it would be nice to get his opinion. I'm going to backtrack a little bit to the whole banning minorities from countries. I believe, this is me personally, this hasn't been anything that, someone who's, read to me, spoke to me, blah, blah, blah. I believe that's going to cause more problems than anything else. By banning them from these countries, whether it be this country, be the UK, be America, or anywhere in Europe, I believe you'd just be playing into the hands of these Islamic terrorists, or whatever the media are calling them now, with their propaganda. We've got the West on the run, they're scared, they're this, they're that. I'm waiting for that to come, because that's what I believe personally will happen. Not that I want it to happen, but obviously give the power to the people, rid the world of these false leaders. Yes, Connor, yes, I agree with you perfectly. But with that, if he were to remove, let's say, Theresa May, and all her little cronies that do like education minister, transport minister, and this, that, and the other, do we actually have something to replace it with? Because I could see some apocalyptic kind of shit going on, after, the regimented leadership is gone. I like the idea into the clouds kind of idea, but realistically, do we have anything that could replace the structured system that we have at the moment, to allow the standard of living, however good, bad, or indifferent they it's seen? How would we keep the water flowing? How would we, the food, how would the, trades that we have with other countries go on? So yes, Connor, I love your comment. Thank you for commenting. But obviously I do think if we were to go ahead and do something like that, we would have to put some serious thinking into how we would go on from there. But I've met Muslims, obviously, like I was talking about before, when my partner lived in London, so obviously you meet them on the street. I've met the Syrian families, the so-called refugees that people are, well, that's what people are calling them. I'm calling them human beings because that's kind of what they are. And they're no different than me or you. Okay, there may be a few exceptions. They prayed to a different invisible being in my mind. I'm guilty of the same thing, but obviously I am a little bit different as everyone else is a little bit different. They may eat different things, but I was brought up on, don't judge a book by its cover. Just because you have a few bad apples in the Muslim population or the Christian or Jewish population, you shouldn't judge everybody by that same definition. I judge each person by their merits. The people that I've met recently, the refugees, the human beings that have been displaced from their own country, the hatred and that they have had to endure as they travelled across Europe to get here, to get the welcome that they got, whether it was good, bad or indifferent. I don't see what difference it makes, what God you follow, what food you eat, what your ideals are. After the last couple of days with a few of the posts, obviously Donald Trump being the major fucking story at the moment, I've had a few people, call me a sheep, and this, that and the other. I don't see how I'm a sheep. I don't follow the masses, as you can hear. I'm trying to give my own personal spin on everything that's going. The world is crazy enough as it is. Do we really need to be segregating people just because of their religion? To the people out there now that are busting their hands into the tables or phones and that, saying, oh no, but it's to protect our country. You're never going to protect a country when you have opposite ideals like we have. Whether you want to say the Islamic extremist versus Donald Trump, a free thinker like myself versus the establishment that we have in this country. I always thought as an argument you would find the common ground before going for the indifferences. We spend most of our time focusing on the indifferences and not a lot of time on what is the same. So if you'll give me a few minutes, I want to try and list the things that are the same. We drink the same water. We breathe the same air. We need the same resources to survive. Yet we don't need hatred. We don't need negativity. I'm not saying that everybody should hug everybody. I'm not saying that we should, you know, as the Christians would say in their Bible, turn the other cheek to what's happened. But we do actually have to take responsibility for the actions that we cause ourselves. You know, I was talking to somebody yesterday. I think it turned into a very heated debate very, very fast, which I find uncomfortable because all I try to do is being me, is say how I see it, and then for them to obviously pick, and everything what I say is a little bit difficult. I don't have a problem with people doing it. It's just they don't have what I see as a valid, you know, other side. Do you know what I'm saying? Where I said about not branding all Muslims, Jews and Christians the same. Just because one group of people did it doesn't mean they're all the same. I don't know what I was going to say there. I was expecting a few more messages to keep it going. But yeah, I know many of you don't agree with me. I'm not asking you to. I'm just asking you to think. You know, we're dealing with Donald Trump and the way he does his thing now. Do any of you have any idea what could happen next? Do you worry about what will happen next? The next outlandish thing to come? You know, we had the wall for months, didn't we? And now we have the ban on, you know, individuals from selective countries, which don't seem to be the actual countries that have done any wrong, as far as I'm concerned. Everybody in their own country has done something wrong. I'm not trying to say everyone's blameless, but I'm just saying, you know, each to their own merits. I just hope that, you know, at some point we can put this madness aside, of focusing on banning groups of individuals or building a wall, or, you know, I just want us to come together as humanity under the same sun, you know, because we all want the same things. We all want the pursuit of happiness. We all want to, you know, make a better future for the next generation. How we go about it is different, obviously, to the people that side with Donald Trump and the way he does things, the people that side with myself, who want, you know, humanity to rid itself of the false leaders, as Connor said, and govern themselves, because we know best. You know, that, you know, I know what's best for me. I don't need somebody else to tell me. You know, my parents brought me up enough to know that, you know, you have to know your own mind. You have to own your own thoughts. Do you know what I'm saying? You have to be you. You can't be anybody else. So I'm going to wrap the video up there, guys. I'm hoping that, you know, you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. As usual, I upload my videos to YouTube. That would be Gary, son of David. Give it a like, give it a dislike, even whack a comment down if you feel like it. Definitely give it a share, because, you know, it helps spread the message of peace, love and unity. Even if it's, you know, just a click, do you know what I'm saying? It's something, it helps get the word out there, and hopefully we can try and build a better future together without all the persecution. So as usual, guys, from me, it's peace and love.